Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Monisha. I am an IMG from India, and IMG stands for International Medical Graduate. I'm currently doing my core training in my dream specialty psychiatry here in London. In today's episode, we are going to talk everything about Schengen Visa. As someone who has an Indian passport, there was some kind of an apprehension before I applied for Schengen Visa. I did not have enough information about it. I wish there was a video like this one wherein I could find all the information in one place. And this is what the video today is going to be about. I actually put out a story on my Instagram stories where I asked you all that if you guys have any queries or doubts about Schengen Visa, then to send all those questions. And so I've kind of put together all those questions, even the bits and pieces that I was sort of worried about before I applied for a Schengen Visa. So this is your one go-to video where you have all your information in one place. Okay, a little bit of story time over here. One of the many reasons why I moved out of India is because I wanted to see and travel the world while still pursuing medicine, basically doing my PG or training or residency or whatever, something that I knew wouldn't have been possible if I stayed back in India to pursue my PG over there. And I didn't want to sort of sacrifice my 20s and 30s to then be able to travel in, like the second half of 30s and 40s. I'm like, how do I even know I'm going to live till then? As morbid and as sad as that sounds, that's just who I am. I just take it one day at a time.
You are too concerned with what was and what will be.
And I wanted to be able to do that while I was still young. One of the prime reasons was that, but unfortunately COVID happened and I wasn't able to travel, say in 2020 and most of 2021. I did travel a little bit in 2019, but then most of my traveling has happened in the last 6 months. And in the last 6 months, I have traveled to 6 different countries, if I include India as well. But if only in Europe, I've traveled to 5 different countries, and that has been possible because of Schengen Visa. So a lot of you might ask, what exactly is Schengen Visa? So basically, Schengen Visa is this one go-to visa or one sort of entry where you can explore the whole of Europe and a lot of the islands that come with it. So the Schengen area forms of 26 different countries where you sort of have free movement between these countries. 22 of these countries are European Union members, while the other 4 are part of the European Free Trade Association. What are the different types of Schengen Visa that you can apply for? There is single entry, there is double entry, and then there is multiple entries. You might ask, why apply for this one visa? What all countries come under Schengen Visa? And I'm going to just list a few of them to you. There's Austria, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Italy, Greece, Czech Republic, Malta, Iceland, Norway, Switzerland, Monaco, Vatican City, Ireland, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus. Okay, that's as many as I can tell now under one or actually 2 breaths. So I am here in UK on a work visa. Why do I need to apply for Schengen Visa? Do I really need to apply for Schengen Visa even if I'm on a Tier 2 visa here in the UK? The answer is yes. UK is not part of the European Union, so you would need to apply for a separate Schengen visit visa even if you've got a Tier 2 visa. What is the duration of the visa? So there is no proper or one right answer to this. The duration of the visa can be variable. It really depends on the embassy of the country, the European country you're applying to. There's nothing called a Schengen country you're applying to. It's just called a Schengen visa. But when you would be applying for the visa, you would be applying to the particular European country, and it's honestly up to them for how long they give you the visa for. I'm going to in a bit talk in detail about my past experiences of applying for Schengen visa. I've applied for Schengen visa twice, and I'll tell you how and what was the duration and everything that came along with it. But the duration of the visa really depends on the country and how long they give it to you for. So I can't say it's for a week, for 3 months, 6 months. It's completely up to them. What is the process of applying for Schengen Visa? So the first bit is the website would be of the country you're applying to. So all the countries I listed, you can go to any of these countries' website and then you can apply for a Schengen Visa on that website. By that I don't mean that if you're planning to go to France, you wouldn't be applying a visa to the Italy embassy. So if you're planning a trip to France, then you would go onto the French website or France's website and you would apply for a Schengen Visa to France. France. Now, the next bit is, say if you are not just visiting France, you're visiting Italy, you're visiting Germany, and you're visiting Greece and so many other European countries. So you would apply to the country where you are basically staying the longest for. So that would be the country you would be applying the visa for. Say if you're equally spending your time like 4 days Italy, 4 day France, 4 day Germany and bits like that, then you would apply the country where you would be entering Europe. Say trip begins from France and then you go to Italy, 4 days France and 4 days Italy, then you would apply to France because that's your point of entry to Europe. Okay, so now you've gone onto the website, you've applied for the visa. What happens, it's quite a straightforward process when you go onto any of these websites to apply for visa. It's like how you would apply for UK visa. You fill in all your details, you write how long your duration of stay is, the details about the, your entire holiday. Then you kind of just like go on to the last bit. Over there, you would be asked to like upload documents. And I'll mention all the documents that are necessary for Schengen visa literally in the next segment. Then you would book an appointment date, whichever is the earliest appointment date or whatever's convenient for you. And then you would go in for your appointment where you would submit all the physical copy of these documents as well. Then there you would give your biometrics. Your biometrics would be your retina recognition, your facial recognition, your fingerprints and bits and pieces and your picture and all that. And then your visa arrives and then you travel to Europe. So it's as simple and straightforward as that. Okay, now to the important bit. What all are the documents that are required for Schengen visa? First one would be obviously a valid passport. Your passport shouldn't be expiring anytime soon and you need to have 2 full pages so that they can give you on one page your visa, and you need to have a page for all the stamps during your entry and exit of Europe. You would need a copy of your passport's first page and a copy of your passport's last page. So basically Xerox copy. Then you would need a Xerox copy of your BRP. If you are on a Tier 2 visa living here in the UK, then you need a copy of your BRP. You need passport size pictures. Every country has specific dimensions in terms of their passport size pictures they need. So whenever you're applying on whichever country's website, it will list the details as to what is the passport size picture you need. Then you need a cover letter. I cannot stress enough about it. I have talked about it even when I made a video about PLAB or tourist visa, whether it's Tier 2 visa, always write a cover letter. Honestly, I feel like you are sort of playing with fire if you're not putting cover letter when you're applying for visa to any of the countries. Even if it's not necessary, it's not required, it's not asked, I would still definitely recommend you write cover letter because I feel like they must be dealing with so many visa applications. They must be getting so many documents. You yourself would be submitting so many documents in one place. They do not have the time and energy to literally properly go through it. That's how I would feel. So I rather have one, like a front page where I've written everything down, like why am I traveling, what are all the documents, and explaining each and every document. So please do write a cover letter, and in your cover letter you can talk about who you are, where you're from, what you're doing currently, when do you plan on traveling Europe, why are you traveling to Europe, what is your itinerary, whichever country you're traveling to, what are your expenses that you've planned for this week-long holiday or however long your holiday is, how much money do you have in your bank, and why you would not say stay back in Europe. You are only visiting for a certain number of days and you will be exiting the country and going back wherever you're currently residing. So yeah, basically that's the skeleton of what your cover letter should sort of entail. On the cover letter, like I said, like have an itinerary. Say if you're going for 5 days to Paris, then exactly say what you're doing on day 1, what are you doing on day 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not saying like properly like hour by hour, but say that, oh, on the first day I plan on seeing the Eiffel Tower, second day I want to do Louvre and explore the restaurants around it, or like day 3 I want to go like a 1-day getaway from Paris. Like I'm just giving you ideas. So sort of have like a rough itinerary and explain that in your cover letter. All right, the next bit is if you are currently employed, then you need a reference letter from your employer. And what the reference letter from your HR or your employer must say that how much is your salary, when did they hire you, and what position are you working currently in. So it's sort of like an assurity or a reassurance to the embassy that you do have a job that you're going to go back to and not just sort of stay back in Europe. All right, the next thing is bank statements. It's said on the embassy we were applying to that they needed 3 months bank statement, but the one I had applied to before was 6 months. So I just attached 6 months bank statement. So have 6 months bank statement, basically the account which has the maximum amount of funds in it so that you can show that you can support your trip or your vacation to Europe. The next bit would be return flight tickets. You don't have to pay for your flight tickets, but you can have like a rough itinerary. Don't book the flights. I mean, I just go on Skyscanner and I just say that these are the details. This is the flight number that I intend on flying by if I get the visa. What I would say is like take a screenshot, and then they obviously would have your bank statement. So that would sort of, you know, confirm that yeah, you do have funds. So if you get the visa, you can book these flight tickets. So have a return flight ticket itinerary, then accommodation. So then again, what I would do is that, you know, on booking.com, you can go and book any of the hotels in whichever city you plan on traveling to, but you can have the option of pay on the day. And then once you do that, you get a confirmation of your booking of the hotel. Once you get that email, just go and cancel the booking. So you sort of have like a confirmation from booking.com, but you haven't paid for it, kind of not tied to going there. So that's what I would do. That's what I've done. Then finally, the most important bit, which is travel insurance. You need travel insurance. So we got the one by AXA, and we got it like for 1 year, which includes Europe, also USA and Canada. You can only pick Europe if that's where you're traveling to. Definitely need travel insurance. These days with the travel insurance doesn't sort of have the COVID insurance as well. So some of the travel insurances you need to pay separately for the COVID health thing, but the one on AXA have the travel health and the, you know, lost package and bits like that, including also the COVID one. I would recommend checking that out. I'll leave a link down below if you want to go and check that out. Okay, now coming to the bit about my own personal experience with applying for Schengen Visa. So I've applied for Schengen Visa twice till now. Once was in 2019. I had applied to France because we were planning a 4-day trip, and I applied for it knowing I only had 6 months remaining of my Tier 2 visa, and they gave me a Schengen visa for 3 months. So that was my first application, and applied right from here in the UK because by then I had moved and I was working here. Dean at the same time applied for Schengen visa from India. He showed the exact same dates, travel itinerary, everything. He had not moved to UK by then. He was still living in India and working there, and he got like a 28 days visa only for Schengen visa. So I don't know how it works. We both applied at the same time to the same embassy with the exact same details, but I got 3 months and he got 28 days. So that was our first experience with Schengen visa. Quite straightforward. We applied to France because we were planning on only visiting Paris then. Then the second experience is very recent one, which is kind of not post-COVID, but while the pandemic is going on, which is this year in 2022 January. We both applied. So 7:32 a.m. It's still dark outside. Running a little bit late. Got visa appointment in like an hour's time. By this time, I have been living here for almost 3.5 years, and Dean has been living here for 1.5 years. Let's like backtrack a little. We actually were planning on applying for Schengen visa last year around July or August. Somehow didn't go through with it because we got like a little sidetracked with going to India and then had exams and everything. Then we decided to apply for Schengen visa in November, and at that point there was, I don't know which number wave of COVID was going on. So France shut down its borders and they said that they're not going to be accepting any tourists. It has to be like only emergency and it has to be only essential travel, and all that thing was going on. So we actually planned on applying to France in November because we had applied to France before in 2019 and we thought it would be much more convenient and easy, and our biometrics would have already been there from 2019. Yeah, we just thought that we know the process and everything, but I'm so glad it kind of didn't work out and France had shut its borders, and I'll tell you why literally in a minute's time. Then we looked up another country, which was Lithuania, because a friend of ours told that they got like visa to Lithuania for 1 year and it was quite a straightforward process. We looked up for Lithuania. Lithuania also wasn't accepting anyone other than like people who are from Lithuania or like from Europe, or you had essential travel like in terms of business or healthcare. So obviously we didn't fit into any of the criteria, and I was so disheartened because we wanted to spend sort of end of the year last year in Europe, but didn't happen. Then we were like, oh my god, we want to travel, and we finally got good amount of savings to be able to travel. We've got the time, I've got the leaves, and we are not able to travel. And then what happened is somehow we started looking up for every European country's embassy website that who is accepting visa currently. It was not even to do with travel, just have a visa application and have the visa ready whenever, you know, Europe opens its borders. And the only country at that point who was accepting visa was Spain. And I'm so glad and so grateful that this happened. What happened is that we then applied to Spain. This was at the beginning of this year in January. We applied around, I think, the first week of January, and we got our visa within 5 days. And I can't believe it. So we had intention of traveling to Europe end of January because I had like a 10 days break post my on calls and everything. That was the only country that was accepting visa applications at that point. So we applied to Spain, got our visa within 5 days, and we were shocked. We got... What? just like calculating. So it's 1 year visa.
Yeah.
Stop! Visa for a year. Both of us got the exact same duration, the exact same date. So that's the story behind the second visa application. Since then, we've traveled to Prague, Budapest, we've traveled to Italy. Vatican is obviously there, but it's still counted as a different country. We've been to south of France, and we've got a few more trips coming up. So yeah, so that's been our story, and we've got like 7 more months of the visa remaining. And now we're going to move on to the last bit of this video, which is Q&A. So the Instagram story I put out, you guys have sent in all your questions, so I'm going to start with that. First is, how long does it take for the approval? This is again variable. The first time I applied, I got my visa in 2 weeks, 14 working days, and the second time we applied in January, we got it within 5 working days. So it really depends, but they say it's usually within 30 days your Schengen visa should arrive if it's been approved. The second question is cost of Schengen visa. So it's roughly around £73 or 80 euros. What is the longest validity we can apply the visa for? So you can apply for however long you want to with multiple entry, but it really honestly depends on how long they sort of give it to you for. So I can't say that if you apply for this long, this is how long you will get the visa for. It definitely depends on the embassy of the country you're applying to. How long is the visa valid? Is it only valid for 60 days? Again, it's valid for the duration they give it to you for. Can any student visa holder of any EU countries travel to Schengen countries? Yes. If you've got a student visa, say you're studying currently in France, you can travel borders and cross borders to any of the other European countries. You do not need a Schengen visa. How long should I be working in the UK for the visa? So you need to be on Tier 2 visa for 3 months minimum, after which you can apply for Schengen visa from the UK. Do you need Schengen visa even if you're working in the UK? Yes, you need to apply for Schengen visa because UK is not part of Europe. You need to be working for 3 months minimum on Tier 2 visa to then be applying for Schengen visa. How and when did you manage to get an appointment for Schengen visa? Like I explained, the first time was in 2019 and the second time was this year in January, beginning of 2022. We literally got an appointment date within a week's time, but I think that was because that COVID wave peak was happening, so no one was applying, so we just applied then with the intention of just having a visa, and whenever borders open we'll be able to travel. So I think right now it's become much more difficult to get a Schengen visa appointment date because the world's opened its borders, so people are traveling left, right and center. If you're planning on traveling to Europe, I think apply for visa as soon as possible. Coming for PLAB 2, should I get it from India or can I take it after my exams? Something similar someone else has asked is that, can I apply for Schengen visa from the UK with tourist or work visa? Okay, so when you're on work visa, like I explained, you need to be on work visa for 3 months and you can apply for Schengen visa. But if you're here on a tourist visa or here on PLAB 2 visa, which is again tourist visa, I'm going to literally quote from the Schengen visa website. Non-residents such as travelers and tourists currently on a visa in the UK cannot file their visa application at the Schengen embassies in the United Kingdom. Instead, they should apply for a Schengen visa at the appropriate Schengen embassy in their home country. Indian citizens and Indian passport holders, you cannot be applying for a Schengen visa if you are on a tourist visa here in the UK. You need to apply for Schengen visa from India itself. Literally, they are going to reject your application straight away over here because knowing that you're here on a tourist visa and you're applying for Schengen visa. So you need to apply for it back from home. Like you wouldn't apply for a US visa while you're here in the UK, or you wouldn't apply a visa to Japan while you're here in the UK. If you're an Indian passport holder, you would be applying it from back home in India. So you can't apply for Schengen visa from here. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any further questions about Schengen visa, do drop it down in the comment section below. I'll answer them to the very best of my capabilities. This is the end of it. So I hope you're looking after yourself and your loved ones. Take care and have a good, I don't know which time of the week this video is going to come out. Have a good week or have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.